where we need to draw the line. Cut, direct cut. Like, if you can't see me, this is not about to get filmed. Like, I need to be seen. That's why I got a haircut for this shit. What the like, you're not about to not see me. Like, that's not about to happen.
Haircut.
Yeah, look, Deej, look at this.
Let me see that back. Show that back. Oh, Lord. Yeah.
Attention, you are now tuned in to Brown Woman Speaking, a podcast where I'll have candid conversations covering a variety of topics from self-love, entrepreneurship, mental health, relationships, and a whole bunch of clown. Shut your mouth. Let's get into the episode. What's up, y'all? I'm Portia, and this is Brown Woman Speaking, a podcast where me and my guests have meaningful conversations that I hope will spark new ideas, perspectives, and attitudes in our culture. Today, I am joined by a number of my special guests who all look like me, that are on the path to break down the injustices that we face as future architects. There are approximately 1,748 licensed architects in the United States, 2,325 who are African American, and including only 467 African American women. But I believe we are stepping into a new generation of barrier breakers. All of the individuals you will hear today have taken the necessary steps to close the gap. We all have different backgrounds and are at different stages of our career, either working in a profession, nearing our last semester of a master's program, or starting their master's journey. But we all have one goal in common: to be blackity, black in architecture. So welcome to the podcast, Jarius, DJ, Tylor, Breanna, Arzavia, and David. What's up, y'all?
Hello.
What's up?
So today, who just said what's up, late? I'm sick. Who that was? Arzavia?
That bit was late.
Got to be the black folks. Can't get it together. So before we get into the podcast, I wanted to announce my Brown Business of the Week. All Bayou Wreaths. All Bayou Wreaths is run and owned by Haley Carpenter. Haley Carpenter began creating wreaths as a hobby while pursuing her undergraduate degree. The crazy thing is, she says that she started one day when it sparked her interest while she was in a Dollar Tree. She is located in Shreveport, Louisiana, but she ships all throughout Louisiana. You can contact her via her Instagram at All Bayou Wreaths. I'll leave it in the links below. And get you a wreath made. She does custom wreaths, whatever you want. She's very creative. So bam. All right, let's get into the episode. Today, we will be talking about architecture, the architecture profession. Even if you are not interested in architecture, I feel that everything we discussed today will apply to your profession. I'm sure somebody is going to clown on here. I'm not going to point out who it's going to be. I hope we will be very insightful to anybody who is looking to pursue a career in architecture or just simply wants to step outside of the normal majors or professions. All right, guys. Y'all got anything to say?
I'm trying to get my intro music together. Hold up.
Okay, copyright.
Why he's so special?
What you saying, Jarius?
Why this man got to be so special?
I don't know. When he answered, then listen.
To be honest, if he wasn't, I would think something was wrong.
With choosing a profession or a major, typically you're influenced by your environment or the people or your surroundings. So how did you guys decide to choose a major, and was it difficult?
I took an aptitude test.
In high school?
Yeah.
My high school would never.
No, I did it voluntarily, and like I did it my junior year, and I still didn't go into architecture first. I went into engineering, and then that's when eventually I transferred to UL, and then took up architecture, which was my first choice.
And where did you go to school at?
I went to LA Tech first for industrial engineering, and then I thought I wanted to do industrial design, but then I've been into architecture, so I just went ahead and went to UL and tried to pursue that architecture degree. And the same thing, because I was told that architecture, you can do like interior design, industrial design, and architecture all in one if you get a master's.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I kind of chose that.
My dad is a carpenter, so he's been working on houses since forever. And so growing up around him, and then I went to Scotlandville, and we had an engineering program, and one of our classes was a civil engineering architecture class. And after that class, I kind of pretty much knew that architecture was what I was gonna do. Because I knew I wanted to, growing up, I always say, oh, I'm gonna design my dream house. And so now I'm gonna design everybody's dream house. Because, you know, people hear you in architecture, and it's like, oh, you gonna build my house?
That's the first thing they say.
Well,
I'm so tired of hearing
For
that.
real. The very first thing.
First thing they say.
I'm like, is that the only thing y'all think we do?
Right, and then to be honest, I don't build. I don't do hard labor. It look like outside in the heat, the devil.
Just thank you. Fuck.
Bruh.
Houses though, but same thing with me. Actually, when I was younger, they were building a neighborhood in our backyard, and I would go sneak in the houses while they're in the process of building them. And I don't know, that just kind of got me interested in architecture, and so ever since then I kind of fell in love with that. And so I do actually want to do residential design. I'm actually doing multifamily work right now, so it kind of falls in line with that.
Ooh, Tyler was breaking it into her.
See, my first of all, Breanna and Arzavia, y'all schools putting my school to shame. My school ain't do nothing. Okay, I didn't even know what architecture was until I got to college. Like I had no idea, not necessarily no idea about the profession, but I wasn't interested in it.
I didn't know much about the profession. I just knew that if I wanted to draw houses, I had to be an architect. So, like, as much as when I got to college is when I learned the vastness of what the architecture profession was. All I knew was I wanted to draw houses, and architecture was the major that I needed to do for school. So, I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know too much about the.
I used to draw a lot when I was little, and I got into drawing like houses and stuff like that. And then eventually I found out that that's what architects do. So I was like, oh, well, let me try this out. It wasn't until I got to college that I really found out what architecture really was. I just thought we just drew houses and stuff like that. I didn't know we did all of what, architecture entails. So.
Listen.
I know I got into it because I was good at doing line drawings, and they made good money. So David and everybody else said, it was the tip of the iceberg. I didn't know once I got to college that there was more to it than what it really was.
Right. Of course.
But you see, well, look here. So me and my mom, we used to drive around the neighborhood, like some cool houses. And, I got into it because, I was like, man, look at these houses, dog. I really want to design something like this one day, right? So, I started getting more into it, start going on Google, looking up mansions and stuff, getting more interested in it. And then in high school, I took this drafting class because they did stuff with architecture. I was like, oh, this ain't bad. So I kept it going. So I guess I've always knew that I was going to do something with designing skills ever since I was small. Because just like David, I used to draw a lot. But then I used to draw from I used to do sketches, go from cartoons to realistic things. And now I'm actually in a profession that I'm really doing this. So, I've been doing, I've been new. I want to be a designer, been new since I was probably I want to say 15, 14 maybe. So that's me.
So when y'all finally went when you finally went to school, what was the biggest shock about what you thought architecture was, or what you felt it would be like, and what it actually is? Well, coming from two different perspectives, some of us are still in school and some of us are in the actual profession. So what was you like, bruh, this ain't what I thought it was. Do I need to quit? I thought we was about to be doing something else.
Code. I'm gonna just say it right now. Codes. These setbacks, these property lines. Like it's like stuff like that, and especially detailing. Like you really gotta detail. You how about the curse? But you gotta detail the hell out of this stuff. So it's like for me being a professional, I would definitely say like the biggest thing that I did not know that I do know now is that code, because there's a lot of stuff like there's a lot of coding out there that you have to go by, and if you don't, there's so many stuff that can happen. There's so many stuff that can cause problems within your residence, within your building, within your community, like within your environment, literally all of that. So I would say for me, it would be coding, because coding plays a really big factor when it comes to architecture.
So you feel like...
Oh, you can go for it.
So you feel like you didn't learn code did you figure that out in school, or you just figured it out when you got there?
No, indeed, no. The only thing I learned in school was how to design. I learned, about like setbacks and property line, like the small little things.
Uh-huh.
But when it comes to like the professional world, like it made school feel like I wasn't learning nothing. I mean, I know I did learn stuff, of course, but when you're in the professional world, it's like I really went through 4, 5, 6 years of architecture school for this. Like, this is on a whole new level. Like, this is on a whole new playing field. Like, come on now. Like, you can't compare school to this right here. Like, this is ridiculous.
Like in school, it was just a big thing on creativity. Like, especially at UL, like they wanted you to think so far out the box, especially like 30. If you think about it, we did not consider any codes in 301 at all. And like the only thing we talked about was like street edge and like school. I feel like school is more of like getting like concept ideas together, getting your way of thinking and picking out what your particular design style is. For some people, it's working with boxes, push and pulls or stuff like that. My personal one was like working with curves. And like you get like your own language of what you want to design, but like actually learning like code and the things that put you in a box in the career, you don't really learn in school, I feel. So, no.
Well, the first time I seen like an official like construction document set, and like you see all the details, all the wording, and all the different drawings you have to do in order to put a building together. It's just like, it's very overwhelming. I can only imagine. I'm still in school right now, going into my last semester of graduate school, but I can only imagine just how much more, like DJ said, difficult, but not necessarily difficult, but the learning curve from, that transition from school into the professional world. It's almost like you have to become a student all over again, and I guess learn how to conduct yourself in the professional environment, as well as how to really put a building together and make sure you dot all your I's and like cross all your T's. So
I know there has been so much now that this whole COVID thing has come to light and we're refiguring out the structure of school. The people that are in the profession, do you feel that like this is the opportunity for school to be reworked? So we're not relearning things? Or you appreciate what you did?
I think it's a little bit more that has to go into it, because now with the whole virus, you have more social distancing stuff that has to come up about, like, more design issues that are coming about because of all of this that's going on.
So have y'all start applying it at y'all firm?
Yeah. Personally, I know in
Yeah.
the meetings that I've been in, we definitely, the client wants to know how can we, implement social distancing stuff and, stuff like with the pandemic, how can we apply it to the project that I'm on and stuff like that.
In school, I was thinking earlier today, like in school, dealing with Black issues, we didn't, now that I think back on it, we didn't learn nothing Black. Nothing about the African diaspora, nothing about Black architects, not a building, nothing. Do you guys think that we need to, that needs to be implemented into the profession more to actually get people who look like us interested in architecture?
Yeah, because
Definitely.
representation matters. Like, until I got to UL, I did not know that Black women even thought of being licensed architects. Like, Kawana was the first Black female that I saw even remotely in our program, like in our profession or in our profession in some way, whether it's a teacher or a professional or a designer. And so implementing more information on like other Black people that were involved in our profession would be ideal to getting more people to see that people that look like us can do this type of work.
Right.
Like Bree said, representation is everything. And that's something I really want to advocate for. Even now, as I've done with like some town hall meetings we're having with our very own school, but also just whenever I enter the profession, like really making sure I get myself seen by high schoolers, young adults, so they can know that, this is a career path that they can take, that we do exist in the architecture profession. So I think that's just extremely important.
A lot of kids sell themselves short because they don't see Black people being represented in not even just architecture, but in a lot of fields, like medical field. There's different kind of fields because that they think that they see themselves with no way out, and they have to subject themselves to being like staying in a fast food industry or working at grocery stores. And they don't know that there's things that beyond that they can achieve. And then also there's help out there too, that people are willing to help you to make it to where you want to be and help you get your degrees in architecture or as a doctor or whatever you want to be.
Yeah, and it's like it's as if society has it portrayed that, oh, if you're a Black person, you can only be a rapper, an athlete, a nurse, maybe a lawyer, maybe a head doctor. Like you don't see African American people promoted as different fields outside of like, oh, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer. Like there are other, like you can legit do anything just as much as our counterparts. Like it should be shown that it doesn't matter what field it is, Black people can infiltrate it and be a part of that.
Right.
So whenever I was on a website with Next Architects, I came across this girl. I think she was about 27, and she was telling me like she worked here and there. Like she worked in Africa as an architect. She worked in the U.S. and stuff like that. And she was like, after a while, when she didn't really see as many people like us, she started going out her way to like visit HBCUs that taught architecture, really just donating to the schools, and it kind of like shed light like on the upcoming architects, because like even though we already don't have enough of us in our field, and when we do have a lot starting out, we don't really finish most times, so that kind of just give people hope, I guess. So I actually started like researching which schools have like that are HBCUs and have like strong architect programs, and they mostly in the East Coast, and I just thought that was like some informational stuff that we could start like thinking of. Like we already went through school mostly, so we could help the people that's coming up like in first year, second year, stuff like that.
You're saying like contact them early on, like
yeah,
kind of be like a pen pal or a mentor.
Right.
With our schooling, in the College of Architecture and Design, they expect you to just feel what they want you to do. Just feel it in your spirit. They don't know how to articulate it properly, and some people get the short end of the stick because of that, and it's your fault. And then with these critiques, there's already anxiety because I know I gotta please you to get my grade. I said that so many times in undergrad, like to explain it to my peers who are not in architecture, that we are graded on a whole different system, of grading. Y'all can go and study, and if you study and you put in the work, you're gonna get your grade. We can go stay up for 3 nights straight and get a B. Like, there's no guarantee. Our grades are so subjective. And then add the fact that it's already skewed for the black kids on top of the BS grading system. So,
because with the whole grading situation, it's as if they expect us to not even conform, but like read their minds in a way that we understand exactly what they want, exactly what they mean, but yet always say that there's never a right or wrong answer. So it's
I really do hate that.
But there's an idea that you have that you want us to reach.
Right.
And if we don't reach that point, then to you, my grade isn't worthy. Because I personally, like this past spring, like I didn't get the grade that I wanted because the teacher felt as though I didn't reach a level of understanding in my own project based on her knowledge, their knowledge. And that hindered me from getting the grade that I needed. And so it's as if, because I didn't reach, because to me, I figured, like, especially like with the idea that I was going for, I felt that I kind of, I might have scooped a couple, but I ain't make a big dent. But the whole idea that I had was something that you can't just unravel in a semester. And so, especially with the direction that they were given as teachers. But because they grade me and I didn't reach that level of understanding that they expected, then I didn't get a good grade. So, I mean, it's really hard to understand. It's really hard to succeed in certain cases when there's not a right or wrong answer, but there's a expectation or a level of completion or understanding that you should reach, even though there's not a right or wrong answer. So
you could even do all of that and still be, they could consider that your work not even yours.
Because I've even
yours.
Yeah, I know. For me, like there was 2 examples. I have like in my thesis class, I had the best mark, and they didn't even think that was for me. They thought it was for one of the other students in the class. Until I spoke up, that they realized, oh, okay, we apologize, that wasn't yours. And there was another time with even with DJ, he had like the best work for that time, or that specific time in class, and he met all the criteria, and they didn't give him the grade that he needed, and he had everything that they wanted. Everybody else in the class, even myself, we didn't have everything, and they still gave him like a B.
And then I've even seen it in my class. Like a student will have subpar work, like just the bare minimum, and somebody else pretty much had everything, but because the teacher didn't understand how they got to that, they didn't pass.
And I can attest to that. I can definitely speak on that. As a black man rising up in an architectural field, I definitely feel that when we deal with people on the spectrum of, this is predominantly a white type of, I'll say, environment. And when I say environment, I mean by the whole architectural realm. I felt like I was put off to the side simply because my professor felt like my work wasn't my work. I had a statement made to me wow, RJ, I didn't think you had that much work done. And my response was, why would you think I didn't have that type of work? Like, what was I doing this whole semester? So from there, I was graded heavily and cold-hearted on somebody that didn't even sit into my my review and told me that I have the skill set levels that I need to excel on the outside world, but I didn't meet the criteria that they felt I should have been. So in other words, you basically failed me because you felt like failing me. On top of that, after you failed me, you knew you were going to fail me before you failed me because you knew I was going to have to write an appeal. So I just feel like sometimes in the areas of architecture and with it being a predominantly white type of job course, I'd rather say, it's very hard for us to rise because they don't want to see us win, and I don't understand that.
That is true, because I had a professor that told me that I was lucky to get an A on one of the projects, which I don't think it's just being lucky if I put in the work and I put in the effort to. And you are my professor, that's just basically trying to put me down. You're saying like I have good work, but it was out of luck and not out of hard work. And so
wow. And what aggravates me is as if every Black is like, oh my gosh, I can't believe, like I had classmates be, oh my gosh, I can't believe you did that, Bree. I spent the time. What you mean you didn't think I could do something like this?
There has been many times that Black African Americans actually know exactly what they're doing in the field of architecture. Like for myself, I just always feel like I'm always looked at very indirectly. I'll even go back to my second year. My second year, I actually was graded with a C, and I had to go back and make an appeal. And one thing that two of my professors told me was that I had the skill set level in second year that a third and fourth year should have, but we're going to give you a C because we feel like you didn't meet the criteria that we set out. So it left me confused simply because I actually let somebody copy my work. And I shouldn't have, but I actually did let somebody copy my work. And it shows that there's a white and there's a Black stipulation, because the amount of effort that we put, we understand already that we have to take the extra, that we have to go over and beyond with our projects. And I know people firsthand that do little to none. And it's always a statement, well, I don't know how I got to be. And it makes me feel some type of way, because it's like, well, if I don't have to go that hard and they have to go that hard, then what am I doing? Like, it really leaves me like clueless.
I said this in one of our in the town hall meeting that we had when I was in undergrad. My professors, it's like they were expecting you to do nothing. Like they were expecting you to fail. So
I can
no
agree.
matter what you gave them, you're a failure. So I'm not necessarily really grading you on the work that you are presenting to me. So like my senior project, I worked so hard on my senior project. We got awards. Well, not we, but people got awards, and I didn't get an award. And then when I came back, I think it was like over the summer or something, to get a recommendation letter, one of my professors, she came to me and she was like, Portia, I wanted to tell you that after the board, what's the board that come and review everybody work?
Is it the appeal committee? I think you're talking about? No.
Panel?
Accreditation?
Yeah, the accreditation board. So we had to redo the projects for the accreditation board. She was like, we reviewed your project and you should have got first place. I was like, okay, that's cool, but like, I didn't. So what's the point of you telling me that? So basically you're telling me that y'all slept on me when I was doing it, and just the constant repetitive you feeling like I'm going to fail discouraged me personally. So that's something that I have had to try to break out of coming into my master's program, because I had already gave up. Even me telling them that I wanted to get a master's in architecture, one of my professors was like, you just don't want to go into the real world. I was like, what?
See, the real thing is, Portia, the real thing is that when you're a strong Black individual and you rock the confidence on your shoulders, they don't like that. They don't like that. I've experienced that many times. And the whole nut in the shell is that they're trying to knock your confidence. I had a long talk with my family, long talk with myself, because actually my first time receiving a seat in undergrad, it kind of made me go into my truck, pull down the driver's side mirror, and I looked in it, and it made me feel like I wasn't fit for this. You know what I'm saying? Like I know for a fact that I am. I wouldn't be here if I wasn't. You know what I mean? Because after first year, you're gonna know if architecture is for you or
definitely.
Truth be told. So
if you don't quit G, you a trooper. You need to go ahead and go through.
Right, real talk. So it really bubbles down to confidence, because at the end of the day, architecture is confidence. You're not gonna take on the job unless you can feel like you can take on that job and complete that job. So when you actually doing your thing, and it's like they don't see the other kids. And when I say the other kids, we're keeping it real here. We're keeping it very real on this podcast. When I say the other kids, I mean the white kids. And it's like when they see a Black individual, woman or male, rocking hard, and then we're stepping to, mind you, we step to presentations, ladies and gentlemen. We don't just come there and no clothes, this and that, rolling out the bed. We step to our presentations. They don't like that. They don't like to see us win. And they don't like that. So meanwhile, when you have a good project going, you know what you're talking about, and you looking good doing it, oh, the white people don't like that. They don't like that. It's a confidence knockdown. And it takes us, this podcast, this family, Kawana as a professor, and the organization of Nomas to keep doing what they're doing, because at the end of the day, when your confidence is knocked down, you're going to need somebody to help you build it up. And I can definitely say you guys actually helped me build my confidence up, because I was about to quit. Knowing I know how to do this. Oh, of course, most definitely. Thank you so much to everybody. All y'all, DJ, you did help. But it bubbles down to, I don't like the way that we have to play their game. So I'm trying to rewrite the game.
Exactly.
And
my son about to write a book.
If you think about it, it's to a point where don't let all of the Black people in your class be good. Because, baby, don't let all of the Black kids in your class be good, because then they're going to single out one person, David, and let him be the top of the class. And
Nah.
Because it's like, you only have one token. Like, we can't let y'all just run the class and be the top of the class. We can't let all y'all be top of the class. All y'all can't get awards. All y'all can't be the go-tos for projects outside or whatever. Like, no, all y'all can't be the go-tos, be the future. Nah, we're gonna go ahead and put one up, and then make the rest of y'all feel like, and try to see which one of the rest of y'all we can knock off.
And that's actually a thing. That's actually
I know.
That's actually a thing. And it's almost because it's at the end of the day, I want y'all to understand that everything results back to business. It's numbers. Numbers have to add up. You feel me? And it goes back into culture. They understand it has to be a split different. You have to have a face of each person. Mind you, UL is quote unquote on the boards of like diversity. You see what I'm saying? So if one of us are not winning, mind you, like Bree said, there's not gonna be 3 or 4 of us winning them at one time. They're not gonna let that happen. But it has to be one. So it's almost like we have to grind harder, strive harder in the areas that we always get overlooked. But you see, this the real thing, y'all. This the real thing. We heard them on the outside world. You feel me? I've been working on the outside world for quite some time, 10 plus years. Real talk, not gonna lie. So with that being said, it's time for us to take over. And I feel like that's what this podcast is about. It's time to take over. I'm no longer playing in their favor. It's my game.
Even with our thesis projects, they have been trying to get us to switch, trying to get us to dub them down. All kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about Black stuff.
I had a professor tell me, don't use urban decay or urban blight in your wording, because, I don't think the people of that area, decaying. That sounds like death, ma'am. It is a disinvested community. Yes, it's a predominantly Black community, but I'm not about to soften the words for you so you and your counterparts or your community can feel comfortable. No, this neighborhood is fine. Point blank, period. No business there. Like, excuse me? And it's funny because, like, for a hot second, she had me really thinking, okay, what can I say other than urban decay? Or I had to readjust myself and be like, I'm not changing I want this to hit people. Like, I need to open eyes. Like, I'm not going to change or water down my Blackness or what I am passionate about because it makes you uncomfortable.
We work in a field that it's creativity. It's based on our creativity. It's so personal to where, like, if we have a vision for one of our projects and they can't relate to it, they try and get you to switch it. And then with them trying to get you to switch it, but you don't want to switch, you get caught in a bind where it's like, do I go with my heart or do I go with my grit?
You go with your heart.
Screw them. Think about it. A lot of times, the things that we're passionate about is something that they just brush off. Because if you look at our class, their different projects have no substance. It has no connection to humanity. It has no like maybe a mental health facility for college students or a rehab, like redesigning the rehabilitation stuff. Like, that is important work, but outside they got people doing projects that's just fluff. Like, there's no life in it. Like, how can you say you want to be a designer and you have no passion behind what you're designing? You just want to build buildings. You just want to put something up with your name on it.
And that speaks to what Randy was saying. Like, that's when you get into the profession, that's where you start, those characteristics really place you in where you will work in a firm. Depending if you go to the right firm, they're going to put you in positions of where you have control to really design those parts. And people who don't have, that skill set to really, they're building those fluff projects, they're going to be put in the background to do, interior elevations and stuff like that, to do the busy work while, people like us actually get to do the hands-on work with the clients and make sure we're, doing the important work, I should say.
And then even with us, when we were having discussions about our projects, you can just tell that they just want us to, everything is fluff and they want us to be silent. And for so long, people have been able to say whatever they want to say. And even like, I remember somebody saying, one of our classmates was saying that she wanted to do a rehabilitation clinic for people who come from jail. So they can be acclimated back into their environment in Lafayette on the north side. And I'm like, girl, where they going back to? Like, what is your clinic gonna do? And I think that a lot of them probably feel the type of way about me, because first of all, I done came out of nowhere and came to their class and want to talk stuff.
I was so happy about it.
And so it's just like we mentioned redlining in class, and everybody was looking around like, what is that?
They hate to hear it too.
We challenge your idea on this BS project you talking about what you want to do that's gonna serve Black people, and you don't have no relationships to them. You really don't care. You just think that's a good idea. That's gonna get you a grade. And they don't like to be challenged. Our professors don't like us to challenge it. Literally, the first professor, Carrie is the first professor. If I say anything like challenge somebody project, Carrie was the first professor that, like, when they said something about redlining, and she like basically stopped the class to tell them what it was. I ain't never seen it. Not while I was in school. Matter of fact, we ain't never talk about nothing Black in the first place. Nothing to do with Black people. Everything was so Europeanized. I know more about the price of tea in China than I do about my own neighborhood.
I just feel like long as it looks nice and it meets their expected level of completion, then you should be good as a white student, of course.
You know, you have certain professors that tell you like change this and do this, like they tell you what to do. And you know, me, I honestly, which I shouldn't have done, I learned in graduate school to like just do what I want. But in undergrad, I decided to know like just do what they want, you know, so I wouldn't fail the class. In grad school, I had to learn back that no, like this is my design, that I need to take control of my designs. And you can, that like separates the people that actually know how to do architecture, know how to create architecture, and from the people that don't. Like they had this crutch all throughout undergrad because the teachers, the professors were telling them what to do, and then come grad school, they were panicking and freaking out, didn't know what to do. They were like coming to other students, other classmates for help, and that really separates the weak from the strong.
The story will tell. The story will tell. When it comes to realism, the story will tell, because you can't fake that.
In the profession, my professional worker people, have you seen any bias between you and others? I feel like y'all work at a good firm.
Yeah.
As of right now, I'm gonna be honest and say nah, because we work at a firm that really treats everybody equally. Like they want you to know that this is an equality firm. So I would say, that I don't think there's nothing biased. At least from what I've been seeing, there has been no bias. Like everybody I can say everybody takes the blame, but the principals or partners will let you know if you're messing up. If you're black, white, Asian, doesn't matter. They will let you know. So like me personally, I don't really think that our firm is biased at all. Like I think this is one of the best firms this is I only bring one firm. So far, like this is like the best firm ever in my opinion. Like it is what it is, but
our firm is really diverse, and even with everything that's going on with like the Black Lives Matter and all that kind of stuff, we had meetings where we had like a safe place to actually set up and talk about that kind of stuff, and they're very supportive and comforting in that fact, and the open ear to listen to. So that's what I really like about it.
When I had my 6-month review for at JSP, I actually sat down with my DM, which is design manager, and my PM, project manager and associate. And they've been asking me some questions, and I was completely honest with them. And I did mention that we are this diverse firm, but it just seems like every career fair is just your kind coming there, So as you can see, JSP does listen, and they do consider your opinions and your feelings well, because as you can see, David, Bree, me and Padrian definitely came to UL's career fair this year. 2 black men. Have y'all like ever seen that? So evidently they do pay attention to you. So like that's why I really do love this firm, because like they really listen. Like this ain't no BS. Like it ain't no like one ear in here and one out the other. No, this is really, I hear you. Let me go talk to upper management about it, see what we can do. Boom. And as you can see, a living witness, me and Padrian, 2 black males at a career fair, helping out while trying to get other black people at JHP as well. So it's like, I really do love that firm. I'm not gonna lie. I really do love it.
So me, Randy, Bree, and David are getting ready. All of us are graduating in December, right? Okay, we're all
gang,
graduate in December.
Yes, sir.
And we're going into a job market during COVID. A job market that's already, a little stacked up against us. So do you guys have any fear going into it? How are you preparing for the foolishness that we about to embark on?
I'm gonna tell you like this, y'all call me if y'all need help. Call me. I got y'all.
Well, I need to, speaking of that, I need to resend y'all my portfolio anyway. But I'm I'm not worried, but just a little concerned with the whole COVID thing going on, and if like firms are gonna really be hiring, like talk about, cause well, like with this whole new lifestyle of social distancing and whatnot, and depending on if they shut down across the country again, I guess that kind of depends on if like firms start going back in their office, if they get more jobs or more clients to be able to hire more people.
Mm-hmm.
That is a concern of mine. But I've actually been doing some stuff, some stuff with a construction company. So I might be okay for like a good couple months. But I really do want to like get a job. But it's gonna be a adjustment like school has been. So I mean,
for me personally, I'm not really nervous about it. One, because I don't feel like I'm going to do the bare minimum, the minimum amount of years that I have to do at somebody else's firm. I already started my own firm, design company in February. I offer interior design and graphic work. And so as soon as I can add architecture to that, I'm hitting the road. So right now, I just feel like while I'm looking for a job, I really have time to focus on getting my own business off the ground.
Yeah.
And, it just is what it is. Maybe that's God's way of telling me that I need to worry about my own stuff. I even, originally, I was spoon-fed the fact that you had to work under somebody for a certain amount of years. And then I did research, and you can have your own firm and have a sponsor where I have my own firm and I check in with somebody who is licensed maybe once a month, just so they make sure that I'm doing what I need to do for my licensing. And I can work for myself the whole time if I choose to. So I think that COVID is really making you realize, like, okay, do I necessarily want to go over here? COVID and the whole Black Lives Matter thing is like, do I want to go into a firm, or, I really need to open up my own so that I can employ people who look like me so we can do work for people who look like me. It has really opened my mind, about a lot of different things. Do you guys want to have your own firms, or you just plan to work for another firm?
I'm still on the fence about that. I really don't know just yet, only because now that I'm working in a real firm and seeing how upper management, like, you really have to really worry about your employees as far as help, as far as crisis like this, of course, like laying people off, how to keep the firm running, how to get the income to keep coming in because of crisis. Like, it's really a lot, and I didn't realize it, and I was so looking forward to like having my own firm. And I'm not saying it might not still happen for me, but I'm still on the fence. I'm still like going back and forth with myself about it. But it's going to take a lot of patience, and it's just overall, it's just going to be a lot to actually cope and deal with. Mm-hmm. So I'm just still thinking about it. I'm just still thinking about it, honestly.
For me personally, I do want to own my own firm one day. And I'm not so much on the small side of firms. Like, I actually want to have a good amount of people that I employ and that I, have to look after and make sure that I'm, doing what I have to do to keep my business afloat so they can feed their families. So, and I would say that I should be, nervous about something like that, but it's something I pray about often, and I understand that if it's brought to me and like this opportunity is given to me, God's not going to give it to me if I'm not prepared and ready to handle it. So for me, I want to shoot for the stars and, want to have my own firm. I don't want to conform and, downplay myself. So if I know I can, if I'm capable of doing it, I know and I believe in myself, I'm gonna shoot for it and hope to own my own firm one day. And owning my own firm kind of like ties into a whole bunch of other stuff that I like to do. I would love to own like a subdivision or, you know, housing complex where I could help build homes for people of color like us who don't have places to live, or homeless people. Like, start something that's going to make a change in the world and have my name mean something at the end of the day. I don't see myself working behind the desk for someone else and doing their work for the rest of my life. That's just not me. So
right. I think I mean, it might just be me, but I think ownership is important for us. I was talking to somebody a couple weeks ago, and he was saying that not everybody wants to be an owner. Not everybody wants to own a business. But the thing is, that has been the mindset of African Americans for so long that it caused us to have to conform to other people's rules, because, you know, we might not, like DJ said, we might not want to take on all the responsibility, but somebody got to do it, or we're gonna have to we gonna keep repeating the same cycle over and over and over again.
You're so right about it. And that's the whole reason, like, we all know the story of Black Wall Street, and like, we've had so many opportunities to do that again, but we've been spoon-fed this whole idea of, you know, working for other people and not having ownership, to where we haven't done it again since it's happened. So for me personally, that is another goal of mine, is to be a part of the I guess a new Black Wall Street. Eventually be one of the architects that, you know, helps bring that to life, you know.
Right.
So
I like that.
Yeah. I think, y'all, sometimes I feel like they are intimidated by us because the stuff that we say that we want to do,
If anybody says that,
it will blow your mind. Like, I know when I was in undergrad, Steve Oob came, Parker's dad, and he was talking to us. So he went around the table and he was asking all my classmates, what are y'all goals? And they were like, I want to get married, I want to have kids, I want to work for a firm and do residential work. And I was like, I'm knowing I'm about to be the last person to answer. So everybody was talking. He was like, And then he got to me, and I'm telling him, I have my nonprofit, what I wanted to do with it, that I wanted to build low-income neighborhoods such as River Ranch that, you know, can push people like me out of poverty. I'm telling him all this stuff. He was like, people, this is a goal. This is a goal. And they were sitting over there like, what? You can't do that? Like, their faces just look, you know, just
disgusted.
And that's like an old quote where it's like, the scariest thing to a white man is an educated Black man. And that's scariest thing to white people, period, is educated Black people with ambition and goals and drive, because they can't stand it. Because the moment you educate yourself to want to better yourself and your community, and then you have the drive to do it, the connections to make it work. Oh yeah, they can't stand that. And if they're intimidated by it, they lying.
Just even
scary.
But the thing is, we don't only have people outside of our race that might be against our dreams. We tell our dreams to the people in our race, and they look at us side-eyed.
Like, we've been conditioned to not just believe in each other, and that's something that we have to work as a community, and something we have to stop letting society and continue to pour into us. Because at the end of the day, if you can't look to people who look like you to help you, to support you, then you're really in a world of you pretty much in an abyss, because it's like you can't move for nothing. And it's sad to a point where it's like there are white people who would even be more supportive of you than the people that look like you. And in some cases and I ain't gonna lie, that is really disheartening. Like,
It is.
Y'all, I don't like it. I really don't. And it's just like I would prefer to rely and look to people that look like me to help uplift people that look like me. But sometimes as a leader, you have to be the person that makes it and then reaches back. Like you can't expect the people that made it before you to reach back, because clearly they ain't been reaching. So once you get there, you have to stay true to yourself and be the person that reach back, because clearly ain't nobody else gonna do it. It's very few.
Just keep doing what you're doing. Don't let anybody discourage you or stop you from doing what you want to do. There's gonna be a lot of people that are gonna want to bring you down and try to bring you down, but you can't let that stop you from doing what you love. There's gonna be times where you've been like treated unfairly or unjustly, and sometimes there's honestly nothing you can do about it. But you're gonna find that small people that are gonna always be in your corner, always support you and lift you, and just do what you gotta do.
Man, that came from the heart. Oh Lord, she must have been holding that for like years. Lord,
I felt it in my spirit.
But like all of us pretty much had to do. Like we had Nomas to keep us sane and keep for the support and everything.
At Kalana.
A lot of us were just ready to just leave. And
Tyler about to cry, y'all. Oh.
Now imagine I didn't even have Nomas, bro. I'm dead. Seriously, you put these tissues up here.
But yeah,
Tyler about to cry,
bro.
You want a hug? That's it, David. What you got to say?
I've been trying to think of it, but basically all I would say is it's gonna be tough. I wouldn't say that this is gonna be an easy major by any means. It's by far the toughest major. Like you can look up statistics on it. It's the toughest major out there. And don't let anybody else tell you different.
They be stressing you out.
Right. And like we've said already in this podcast, our grades are biased. They come from what our teachers think is right. So it's not like you can go off of like you got this many right on the test. So with that being said, you just coming into this, you just can't be afraid to put in that work. If you're not one of those people who likes to put in a lot of work, and you can't be mediocre in this. So if you're going to come and do this major, you got to come and do it correct. So
this major is the epitome of you got to work 10 times as hard as the rest of them.
Yeah. 27, I think. I don't know.
50. Why you playing?
Prepare to lose sleep. You about to lose all your sleep.
This is going to be the best journey of your life.
No, it ain't. No, it ain't.
Yes,
no, it's not.
In the end, it'll make you stronger. So
in the end, it will be a blessing. But when you're going through it, you just want to just punch everybody that comes your way.
But it's sad that you got to go through pain to get stronger. I mean,
exactly. So if y'all really want to go through
if you think about it, when you're working out in the gym, you get sore before your muscles get stronger, right?
Yeah, but that's fun. That's fun. Okay, the gym is fun. Okay, this ain't fun.
I'm having fun. Then you
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm still at work right now. This ain't fun.
But you love it though. It's a love.
Because it pays well.
It's a love.
It pays for these rent. It pays for these bills. So it's good to go to my end. Yeah.
And I will forever stand on the hill that architecture is. I have a love-hate relationship with architecture.
Forever.
I'm gonna die on that hill.
Okay.
Wait,
Right.
What?
Before we go, I need to do my intro, outro song. Hold on.
Portia, cut it, Portia.
Yeah.
Cut it.
Hey, what you about to call?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, y'all. I see y'all.
I can't deal with this, man.
Before you leave, turn on your post notification bell. If you're watching from YouTube, subscribe, to the podcast via YouTube or anywhere you get podcasts, period. Share this episode with a friend or family. Let's spark conversation on being a Black professional. You know, wherever you being Black and a professional. That's all for this week. Tune in next week. You don't want to miss the next conversation. Peace.